are living in a time right now when the Seminoles, the Gators, and the Hurricanes are completely irrelevant to a national championship picture. Not even close.
And it's because Howard Schnellenberger, you remember, famously drew that line and said, we're going to win the recruiting in the state of Miami. And he drew it right below Orlando. Yep. Remember that? Steve Spurrier, when he came to Florida, he decided that, and this is how Florida ends up winning. If half of the decision-making is whether I'm going to Florida or not, so if Florida represents half of the decision-making of some recruit and the rest of the schools fill out the other half, Florida's going to get their share of the guys they need. But the Gators have to be one half. You're either going to be a Gator or you're not. Then you can decide on somebody else. And that's where Spurrier brought the program. That's what Schnellenberger did at Miami. And that's what Bobby Bowden did in Tallahassee with kind of a national recruiting program. But I mean, that was the decision guys had to make in that era that Spurrier was there. I'm either going to be a Gator or I'm not. Because if I'm going to be a Gator, I'm going to have a chance to play for the national championship, or I don't like anything about Steve or the program or whatever, I'm going somewhere else. But they always had to be 50% of the decision-making process.
Is it fair to say that we will never, again, see a time, thanks to NIL, thanks to big money at major college programs, thanks to conferences sharing money, thanks to the spreading out of talent, we will never again see the time when Florida, Florida State, and Miami in the same year consistently will be part of the national championship discussion? Not going to happen.
I'm not sure I can say that. I think that's possible in the future just because of the sheer volume of players in this state, and many of them do want to stay home. Many of them are legacies. Their fathers or their grandfathers played there, and it's important to them to stay. So I don't think it's impossible for it to happen again. It will never happen the way it happened in the 90s again, or the late 80s. I think that will be a period of time that we will never see again. For consistency, and I always said, and I know a lot of the media members in Florida would agree over the years, we certainly loved that era, and we loved the Spurrier Bowden games at Florida State. I don't think we fully appreciated them though, because wow, we're never going to have anything like that again.
No,
just the two colorful coaches and the top.
We never
five
thought it was going to end. Look, we never thought free press box meals were going to end either, but they ended too. George, what do you think about my idea on that? That we're never going to see that time again when they're all going to be exceptionally relevant in the same season for a couple of seasons. I don't think it's going to happen.
I tend to agree with you, but things do run in cycles, and I think what's happened here is all the three programs have hit the skids here at the right time. But there certainly is enough there in terms of the tradition. Like Joey said, there's a lot of multi-generational recruits that come into play, and certainly, as we well know, the state of Florida is one fertile ground for recruiting. So I think that there is a bounce back game in play here. But I do think that those wonderful days that we all witnessed and were a part of, I think those are long gone, my friend.
Long gone. Sam, what do you think?
I think as the conferences grow, all three schools will continue to have relevance, and I think they may get back to that. One of their problems, though, that they have to fight is UCF, FAU, FIU, USF, all the other programs that have sprouted up in the state, that even if they pick off one of those guys that was going to go to Florida, or one of those guys that was headed to Miami or Florida State, it can change the dynamic. If Peter Warwick decided that he was still going to go to USF instead of going to Florida State, it would have changed what Florida State did while he was there. So I think they'll get back there, because I think the major conferences are going to play for more money. They're going to play for in front of bigger audiences. And I think those three schools are the three that will benefit from that.